No other medium of entertainment is capable of perfectly melding art and technology the way video games do. And though there are obviously several ways in which games go about doing that, one of the more blatantly visible ones that's right there on the surface is, of course, their graphics. Here, we're going to highlight a few single-player games that have done just that in particularly noteworthy fashion. Uncharted 4: A Thief's End, PC. Naughty Dog as a developer and Uncharted as a franchise are synonymous with pushing the boundaries of gaming visuals, and Uncharted 4 remains one of the finest examples of that. In particular, the game's gorgeous graphics stand out when played on a powerful enough PC, shining a spotlight on everything from the beautifully rendered environments to the bevy of nuances and details in every frame of the game, whether it's cutscenes you're talking about or actual gameplay. Detroit: Become Human, PC. Detroit: Become Human can sometimes be a sloppy narrative experience, but purely from a visuals perspective, it deserves nothing but praise. Quantic Dream as a developer has always relied first and foremost on solid acting performances, and Detroit: Become Human's stellar graphics and animations help strengthen that specific aspect of the experience in a way that is still rare to see in games. Red Dead Redemption 2, PC. It's hard to believe even now that Red Dead Redemption 2 achieves the level of technical brilliance it does at the scale it achieves it at, to the point where it almost feels like incomprehensible wizardry. From the gorgeous and lovingly crafted environments of its massive open world, to the little details and flourishes that truly help sell the game's vision of a dying frontier, this is a game that never runs out of ways to impress you with how it looks. Metal Gear Solid 4: Guns of the Patriots. Being over a decade and a half old at this point, you'd think that Metal Gear Solid 4: Guns of the Patriots would have lost a lot of its visual luster, as so many other games from that era have. The fact that it still looks great then should tell you just how ahead of its time it was when it first came out, and that's without a single re-release, remaster, or port of any kind since its original launch in 2008. Yes, MGS4 can look even more incredible when emulated on PC, but even the original PS3 version is still a treat for the eyes. Alan Wake 2, PC. One of the more recent releases in this group, and also one of the most astounding. Alan Wake 2's visual identity is unlike any other game you'll ever play, and while it does obviously deserve credit for having conventionally impressive visuals, what with its crisply detailed environments, its impressive lighting, and even its incredibly detailed character faces and animations, what it deserves even more praise for is how effectively it gets really weird with all of it. From the surreal environments of the Dark Place to the live-action sequences that are intermingled with gameplay so well, you can't help but do a double take each time they show up. Horizon Forbidden West plus Burning Shores, PS5. For as long as Guerrilla has operated, it's been putting out games that end up nabbing a place in lists such as this one. Obviously then, Horizon Forbidden West makes it here with tremendous merit. Though it's no slouch on the PS4, on PS5 in particular, it proudly boasts a level of artistic creativity and technical brilliance that the vast majority of games can only ever dream of. Its PS5 exclusive expansion Burning Shores only takes that even further. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, PS5. Ratchet & Clank games have frequently been called playable Pixar movies, and while there's always been at least a touch of hyperbole to that, no installment has ever come as close to actually looking that good as the astoundingly beautiful Rift Apart. The obsessively detailed character models, the colorful and vibrant environments that never fail to pop on the screen, the spectacular animations that are so filled with joyful personality, all of it is an absolute joy to behold. Death Stranding PC. The very definition of a game that is unlikely to appeal to everyone who plays it, the one aspect of Death Stranding that you're probably never going to hear criticism for is how it looks. Its vision of desolate, isolated, post-apocalyptic America is brought to life in stunning fashion, not only through cutting-edge technology, but also some of the most visually striking art design that we've ever seen in a game. Kojima Productions games always have a knack for doing that, but Death Stranding is the one game that exhibits that better than most. Kena Bridge of Spirits, PC. If you ever need proof that you don't need a massive AAA budget and dev team to make graphical stunners, that would be it. Kena Bridge of Spirits flies in the face of that notion with its picturesque fairy tale visuals aesthetic, which serves as a perfect blend between technical prowess and gorgeous art design. Throughout its dozen-hour runtime, the game never runs out of beautiful things to proudly display. Gears 5 plus Hivebusters, Xbox Series X. When Gears 5 came out, it was already one of the best looking games we'd ever played, and still is, and somehow its Xbox Series X upgrade made it remarkably more impressive. From its icy environments to its desolate deserts to the war-torn cities that it places you in, the game never runs out of steam on the visuals front. Its expansion, Hivebusters in particular, is breathtaking to behold, and paints an exciting picture of things to come in the future. God of War PC. God of War has been held up as one of gaming's highest watermarks in various respects in the 5+ years since its release. Its visuals are an area that gets that sort of recognition, and though there's plenty of evidence to back that even in its original PS4 release, on a suitably equipped PC, the game's technical prowess comes into even clearer focus. No matter how many times you watch Kratos' muscles rippling as he beheads a monster with a violent swing of an axe, no matter how many times you behold the sheer scale of the world serpent as he towers over you, it's hard not to be impressed by what God of War achieves. Marvel's Spider-Man 2, PS5. Marvel's Spider-Man 2's visual strengths can be easy to overlook, or even entirely missed, given the sheer speed at which you constantly move around in the game, but taking even a second to pause and pay attention to what the game's showing you is enough to appreciate just how good it looks. Its New York is denser and more alive than ever before. Its environments are filled with tiny details that many might not even notice. Its character models are excellently built. The many Spidey suits in particular deserve special praise. And it all comes together to create a cohesive aesthetic for the game that gives it a distinctly authentic Spider-Man feel. Half-Life Alyx. By their very nature, VR games often have to make cutbacks with their visuals to be able to do what they have to do as virtual reality experiences. But Half-Life Alyx very much wants to have its cake and eat it too, and it does that in a convincing fashion. Whether it's the oppressive exteriors of City 17 that you're looking at, or the claustrophobic environments of the game's panic-inducing horror-esque sections, Half-Life Alyx never fails to look incredible. Thanks to its nature as a VR game, in fact, it looks incredible in a way that basically no other game out there does. A Plague Tale Requiem PC. Here's another example of a game that manages to produce astounding visuals without having been built on a AAA budget or by a AAA team. Though not exactly a tiny indie production, A Plague Tale Requiem's graphics still punch above its weight in consistently surprising ways. As a story-focused game, it is of course more reliant on those elements than it would be otherwise, and it's exactly because of its strengths in those areas that its compelling narrative is able to stand as tall as it does. Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut, PS5. Ghost of Tsushima will forever remain one of the best-looking games of all time. We can say that without a shadow of a doubt because it has the sort of timeless aesthetic that can take your breath away no matter how old the game may be, or even how many times you yourself may have played it. The art design does a lot of the heavy lifting here, obviously, but even on a technical level, the game is no slouch, to say the least, something that's doubly true when speaking about the PS5 Director's Cut release in particular. Hey, did you know that we at Gaming Vault upload new videos every day? Stick around, drop a like, subscribe, and hit that bell, and let us know what kind of content you'd like to see in the future with a comment below.